What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fall Classic, the World Series. The World Series. The New York Yankees have made the World Series, and we couldn't have scripted it any better. Why? Because Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers will be joining them. What an absolute classic we're going to have here in the late October, early November days. Welcome into the All Day Everyday Show. Alex Jacobs, Manny Ruffin. This is a betting show. We make bets.
This is a big show.
This is a big show, big betting show. Welcome to the betting show. Hopefully you had a good weekend in your bets, and hopefully you take a little bit of the things that we're going to talk about today into your own bets for the weekend, whether that be in college football, in kind of a little bit of a shakier week compared to the past that we've already had. And NFL, that's definitely a lot different than some of the other weeks that we've had as well. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today, man. We were kind of breaking this show down and what we wanted to do for this week. And like some of these props just stand out for the World Series. We'll be getting into all that. Most home runs hit, how far they go, obviously the MVP odds and all that kind of good stuff. We'll start with Tuesday. The Frozen Frenzy was back. Thank you to the NHL for doing that again. That was the only time this season in the NHL, for those that don't know, where all 16 games with 32 teams will be played. So treating it kind of like red zone. You see every power play, every hit, every goal. It's kind of a good way to get the, non-hockey watchers, or I should just say more people, just more ratings, more eyes on the sport. Thanks to ESPN for that as well.
Facts.
So a lot of good games on Tuesday, and we won't see that again. And we were kind of chatting about that too. Like, I wish there was another time that we could do that, because again, you look at the NFL and you look at Red Zone, like that's every Sunday, and you get that every week. You get to see every team, every touchdown.
Keep going for a second. I want to count something up, but it is electric. It is a nice night in hockey.
And some of the things that I like they do as well is, like, you're seeing sometimes dual screen where you see both games of maybe two different power plays, or sometimes you're seeing a quad box of two teams on a power play in two different games, and a goal was just scored in the other. So, like, I'm just appreciative for the NHL to get some more eyes on the sport that way.
Bro, I'm about to count it for you, because I'm a casual. I mean, I've been betting hockey a lot, but I'm a casual hockey fan. Frozen Frenzy, you see all that fucking shit on your screen. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hockey bets in last night. Like, that's it. Shit like that's how you grow the game, bro. Because, like, especially with people being DJs these days, no one wants to say it, but most people are, like, finding out about different about sports, or, like, becoming fans of new teams and stuff through betting, bro. It's funny enough. That's a great way to grow the game. Have a red zone-esque thing on ESPN2. I was saying to you last night we were watching it, like, when they flip to the game, it's like red zone. Like, oh, my team has the puck. Like, fuck, they don't. Oh, everybody let it go.
Yeah, like that.
It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun.
I like how they marketed that as well, where it's like, whoever, you're going to see every goal. So that means if you have a particular bet in one game and they switch over to that game, it's like, and the other team has the puck. Wait a minute. Like, are they going to score, and am I going to be down? So it's a good way to sweat. It's definitely a fun way to, from a pure betting standpoint, betting hockey, because you're seeing almost every piece of action that happens on a particular game. So, we're watching the Rangers last night, 7-2 win. They're just off to an extremely hot start.
I feel like if they did that once a month, it'd be cool, bro. I actually enjoyed sitting down here with you chopping. I mean, we were playing the show, obviously, but chopping it up. The hockey games are on. It was pretty cool, bro.
It goes to show, like, how difficult it would probably be to do that.
Scheduling-wise, right?
Scheduling-wise with the travel and things like that. I'd be eager, like what if they did that for, like, what if the NBA takes some of that and they do that just one time, and we see how that works. I mean, the NBA doesn't need to do that, obviously, for ratings. But that would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
I know for, like, regular, like, avid basketball watchers, they would more be on the type of time of, like, they want to watch the game in its entirety.
They also, I mean, does it like, I forget, they have like a weird name for it, but Wednesdays is like always a huge slate. And like, I don't know how many teams play, but like most of the league plays on Wednesdays. But like, that'd be cool in the NBA. But I think Just keep doing with the NHL and fucking let's keep scheduling shit the NHL where nothing else is going on. There's only 2 NBA games on.
Right.
Not a lot of shit going on. Like, it was fun. I'm fucking with it, bro. Let's keep fucking pumping the NHL. Did you talk about your parlay?
Yeah, I'll briefly touch on that. I had last night, it was just a
diabolical. I was here when it was placed.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to get
sharp.
I want to get some action.
Yeah.
So I did the Flames and Penguins. I had the Penguins plus 1.5. Flames ended up winning that in the shootout, so we got that. I had
I had Flames money line. That was electric.
Yeah, I had the Avalanche money.
That shootout was dumb as fuck. What are the shootout rules? As a casual first time hockey bet, what is going on here, bro? I forget how exactly it happened, but at some point does it go to sudden death? Because I didn't have the volume on.
No, in terms of a pure shootout rule, like it'll be they just keep going if their first 3 scorers don't score.
Yeah, so the first out of the first 3 rounds it was tied. And then they kept like miss, make, miss.
You need to make miss.
Dude, I think it went to 8 rounds. Like that was I did not need that in my life in that day, bro.
I had the Avalanche.
Great bet.
Get it finally.
Great bet.
Like
they wanted to.
They can win. They can win.
But they make it weird. Why do they make everything weird? But I had cracks.
So they finally the Avalanche can show they can win. And that was on the road as well.
What's up with the coach? Is that a new coach?
No.
Am I tweaking? Same coach? All right.
Yeah. So Avalanche get the win there. And then I had the Ducks money line, which was the second to last game on the slate. And then the last was the Panthers or the Predators and the Bruins over 6. And it was 4-0 Predators. So that's just great for me.
We can't get like a pasta goal.
Yeah, just give me 2.
You know what I mean?
You know? I was too scared. I was scared to take a winner in that game. But again, the Predators are struggling out of the rip, to start the season. So good to see that the chemistry is maybe showing signs of life with all the new additions they got. Ryan O'Reilly, Steven Stamkos, Marchand from Vegas Golden Knights. Like there's a lot of crazy teams right now. You see how hot the Stars look, how hot the Rangers look. Panthers are the defending champs, losing Tarasenko. He had his assist last night on the Patrick Kane goal, and the Red Wings win last night. Just a lot of different storylines. Hockey fights cancer. We're tracking goals scored, total goals scored out of every team in the slate, and making a big donation, upwards of $50,000. So NHL doing their part, ESPN doing their part by covering all of those games. I hope this can turn into, in the years to come, maybe more than one night per year that we see a Frozen Frenzy. But NHL is off to a hot start. Make sure you're still tapping into that as the NBA season kicks off.
Great segue. Rangers versus Panthers. Rangers are minus 150. There's a couple guys on the Panthers hurt, right? A couple key guys. I know you're taking Rangers money line, but had the Rangers one loss this season? No losses? OT loss? One OT loss?
They have no overtime loss. They have not lost in regulation yet. They're 5-0-1.
Would that mean that they're due to lose in reg? Do I fade? Igor's been looking insane.
Like back at FSG, minus 1.5, plus 176. I'm probably just going to take
money line.
Parlay Rangers with something else on that slate. I don't know what that'll be, but just riding the hot hand with the Rangers to start the year. This is a team that's cup contenders, and when you have that, not so much pressure to start the season, but I guess I should say slight expectation.
Oh, 100%.
To get there,
I feel like they're like the most in the East. They're the team that we know. I feel like are most, at least me, comfortable with what they have. Probably people who know hockey probably more comfortable with the Bruins and all that stuff, whatever. And some other teams, maybe the Maple Leafs, but I feel like they're chokers. But I feel like I really know the Rangers should be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe I'm hyping them up, but I feel like they're easily one of the top 2 teams in the East, and they look that good. Panarin looks great. Mika I missed his goals, but he had 2 yesterday, I think.
Their third line is
Lafreniere looks really good.
Hedl, Capo Caco.
Those are your guys. Those are your guys.
Liners that each have 5 and 6 points to start the season, and that's again from your third line. Riley Smith, who they picked up, the old man from Pittsburgh, able to score last night.
Damn.
So there's a lot of excitement around this team. Again, it was the Canadiens. It was a 7-2 win, but I'm not saying exceed or meet those expectations, but to kind of keep the hype alive that this team is a force to reckon with is great to start out the season. So I definitely will be tapping into the the revenge game in the Eastern Conference Final rematch. Thursday night, Rangers, Panthers. Give me the Rangers there.
I like that. So I have a really juicy parlay I placed yesterday. I wanted to tell you guys about. A 6-leg parlay, a bunch of teams make the playoffs. $10 wins you $1,100. Start off it gets a dicey parlay. We start off with Joe Burrow and the Bengals to make the playoffs. They're in the deppies right now, not looking too good. The reason why I took them, though, their last 6 games of the season go like so. Versus Steelers, at Cowboys, at Titans, versus Browns, versus Broncos, at Steelers. Some divisional games, gettable, -118, give me them. Next team, 49ers at -160. I think they could get, the team that leads the West right now is the Seahawks at 4-3. I think they're due for some losses. We know how the Seahawks do late in the season. Give me the 49ers sneaking to the playoffs. I got the Lakers at -120. I feel like that's disrespectful. Let me get JJ Redick off the pod, bro. It's part of the community. Let's go. One of our brothers. I'm going to bet on you to make the playoffs, my guy. Next, I got the Spurs at +340. This is eventually, you know what I mean? This is the one. All right, you guys can laugh, comment now, whatever the fuck you want to do, whatever. But we know CP3 loves going to these young teams and pulling off an operation. Wemby looked insane last year. A lot of big games too. Wemby, like anytime he'd be on TNT, ESPN, I feel like he played better. So I don't know if they can get into the play-in. I feel like Wemby might just snap. And if he's the last leg and they're gonna give me 1,100, like fuck it, bro, it's Wemby. Then I have the Capitals and the Hockey Club. Very little hockey knowledge. I've been watching some more this year. 2 teams that look pretty good. And listen, historically, I just remember last year when the Oilers started off really bad. And they were like 0-4, and it was like historically teams that start off this bad never make the playoffs. And I'm just looking at the lines, and both these teams are plus money. I'm like, historically, teams that start 4-1 or 5-1 should like be at least in the hunt to make the playoffs. So hopefully that's a sweat. I don't know if they're going to make it. Expansion team, sometimes do some sneaky shit. Remember the Vegas Golden Knights? I don't know. It's worth a sweat. 10 to win, 1,100. Let's have a fucking great time.
That is going to be some fire there, too, just because of the Spurs. And I believe they were +340.
+340.
Initial, that individual leg there. So that'll be some fun there. And I think it is funny that you're throwing in the Bengals there, as they do have to host the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. That would be a big win for that.
They would kind of need that.
They kind of do need that.
And it would have been, you probably wouldn't even been looking at that if they didn't beat the Giants on Sunday Night Football.
Nah, no chance.
Because they would have been basically out of it.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be some fun.
Throw it on there.
All right, let's head over to the World Series. And before we head over
Should we start with the picks?
In terms of
Series,
yeah, we can start there. Before we get into that, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, comment, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And Apple Podcasts and Spotify listeners, give us those ratings. They do help us a long, long way. World Series,
actually,
Yankees,
that might be fucked to start with the pick. Maybe we should do the pick at the end.
Pick at the end?
Yeah, we should do the pick at the
end. Yeah, so, but we can just preface that as the Yankees +104, Dodgers -122, and it's 2-3-2. You'll have the Dodgers starting with Jack Flaherty versus Garrett Cole in Los Angeles on Friday night.
I'd like to can we just clap it up? You know what I mean? Congratulations, my brother. Welcome to the World Series.
It's 15 years
Welcome
later,
to the fucking World Series, my friend.
Crazy.
Hopefully you guys can get the job done. My team couldn't get it done when we were here on the podcast. The podcast needs a championship, bro. My team's choked it twice.
We need a parade.
Come on, bro. The podcast needs one.
There's there's a lot of shit talking on social media right now, specifically on Twitter, just based on the fact of the 2 teams that have the largest payrolls. And it's like, oh, well, obviously they should make it. And, well, okay. I was reading some tweet yesterday saying, I think it was some Yankees-based account, but it's like we should, instead of shitting on the good front offices for paying all their guys, let's talk about the other teams that have a low payroll, that their front office has. I forget what team it is. It might have been, I forget what team it is, but like their I saw it on Twitter, and I forget what team it was, but their front office and their owner has only spent $54 million in free agency over the last 3 or 4 seasons. So if you want to go talking about the Yankees and the Dodgers over $300 million, it's well over any other team. They should be there. I understand that. But let's talk about the other teams that don't want to do that and don't want to put the money up to get those guys. You can also talk about the Mets and, what Ken Rosenthal is still saying, where Soto is likely to still be in a competitive battle with the Mets in terms of if he's going to stay a Yankee or go to the Mets.
Yo, Soto is a hoe, bro. I don't care, bro. He don't give a fuck.
Rosenthal was saying
why
that
Soto don't give a fuck.
Cohen is not going to lose a bidding battle, a bidding war with Cashman, with the Yankees on Soto. So, like, we'll see what that means. We'll see if the Yankees win, if that has anything to play into it. You can also argue that the amount of fun that he's having, you know, how the Yankees fans have embraced him, what he's been able to do for this team, specifically in the playoffs. Obviously, we can talk about all season long. I hope he stays. I don't want to talk about that yet, but
yeah, like
it's
my
something
fault.
to think about with, you know, the Yankees and Dodgers posting over $300 million payrolls for their teams, and obviously those are the two teams that make sense to make it. We've been waiting for this matchup in the World Series for a long time, especially with the money that's been put up, and Shohei heading from LA with the Angels to LA with the Dodgers. We finally get to see the showdown of Aaron Judge, of Shohei Ohtani, but even taking it a little bit deeper of, you know, Giancarlo Stanton, your ALCS MVP, Juan Soto, Gleyber Torres in the leadoff spot, Anthony Volpe, like outside of his defense, what he's been able to do in big spots, deep in the batting lineup, 6, 7, 8, your 9 hitters. Maybe we see Verdugo come out of the show here. There's just a lot to talk about in this series, and Tommy Edman winning the NLCS MVP.
I mean, on that team,
like
the way he was hitting the ball,
deep lineups. There's great bullpens, and this is going to be one series that we're going to be talking about for years to come of what the expectation should be for teams moving forward, and honestly, like what we expect out of a World Series, the best of the best. We don't have to look at the Houston Astros and be like, oh my God, they're always here. They're always here. We get to finally look at. We had a team out of the Texas Rangers last year. Obviously, it was a great series, but that's not the series that everybody wants to see. We want to see the Yankees in there. We want to see the Dodgers in there. We want to see the teams that are spending.
Well, we
the money.
had the series of the team spending the money, and the other team that was spending the money did not make the World Series, unfortunately. That would have been fire, Rangers, Phillies. But you know,
but again, at the same time,
there's two teams here that pay $400 million, and their guys hit the ball. It is actually really, really fascinating to watch.
And in terms of a pure rating standpoint, like yes, you can say that it is the Dodgers, it is Ohtani, it is everything from the history of these organizations. But if it was the Mets too, you're still getting a Subway Series.
That'd
So
been
like
insane.
You couldn't really lose in this instance for the Yankees making it. You either get the Dodgers or you get the Subway Series. So just very exciting here. Let's break down some of these player specials. We can look at MVPs too. There's a lot of fun things to look at in player specials. You can talk about players to hit the most home runs in the World Series. You know, Ohtani at plus 300, Judge at plus 310. There's Stanton at plus 600 who had 4 home runs in that ALCS against the Guardians. If you want to look even further, you can look at total bases. Again, that's kind of more of a home run prop, but these are both teams that can have guys on there that can hit a lot of doubles as well. And then, you know, betting on strictly home runs, players to hit 2 home runs, 4 home runs, 5 home runs in the World Series, hits as well, stolen bases.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me look at a number right now. What is Tommy Edman's number to lead the series in hits?
I think you just do like 4, 6, or
No. I think go up. I think they had it. Hits leader. Yeah, most hits.
most home runs, most hits. Okay, Tommy Edman plus 550 and Ohtani at plus.
Oh, they raised him. I was gonna say he probably get crazy. He had 11 hits in the CS. I don't necessarily think he's gonna cool off. That's just my own personal opinion. Damn, I thought you were gonna get a little bit more than that. But honestly, I think Soto at plus 850 is a good look here, but I would look at Edman plus 550. 11 hits in the CS. I don't really think he cools off. I would look at that.
I think even a
Soto at plus 850 in that same list is a good look too.
pitcher to record most strikeouts in the 2024 World Series. They have Flaherty at plus 240 and then Garrett Cole at plus 270. Those are your game 1 starters, assuming they both get 2 starts in there at game 1 and game 5. And obviously, it's going to be a lot of the starters there. I don't even know if I would really go that far into touching that. I would like some better value there. I feel like I want more value. Like,
Yeah.
but it makes sense because you're getting the 2 game 1 starters. Like, if you had Yamamoto going in game 1, I feel like he would be slotted up higher. Instead, he's plus 440. Thought he was going to be the game 1 starter. He's the game 2 starter.
I like him at plus 440. Interesting.
And then you have the head-to-head special betting odds on FanDuel. Like, this is, I think, something, I don't know if I really paid attention to this last year. I don't know if they had this last year, but total bases, head-to-heads, you can bet on Aaron Judge versus Shohei Ohtani in total bases in game 1, with Aaron Judge being plus 102 and Ohtani being minus 124. Like, that's like just a sweaty bet. And I think it's like just for fans of both of these teams, that's just so cool.
Soto over Judge.
Soto over Judge is another.
I mean,
you could do Soto versus Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts versus Ohtani.
I actually like Soto over Judge game 1.
Stanton versus Max Muncy. Stanton minus 134. Give me that. But again, that could be a lot of strikeouts too for Stanton as well. I think that's just really, really cool. You get Judge Ohtani, Soto Judge, Stanton Muncy, Soto Betts Ohtani. That's so cool. And for we talk about ratings all the time, and finally we're seeing Judge Ohtani. Like, you can literally bet both of these guys head to head in total bases in game 1. You just can't write this script any better. And that's one that, as a Yankee fan, I'm going to be taking Judge there at plus 102.
Or for versus
Ohtani.
You think?
Total bases. I mean, Ohtani could easily rip a first inning home run, which I believe he did twice in that.
Judges do as fuck.
Yeah.
He cashed his over 1.5 bases for the first time in that last game, right? Or no, the game 2 you went to.
Game 2.
That was the one time I think he cashed his over 1.5 bases.
Well, then he had it in it was.
Did he get a double?
Game 4. Yeah, the game tying 2-run homer when they were down.
Okay, no, quick, no. That's what I meant with when I said last game. Okay, so he cashed it twice. Okay, so he's not as dick cold as I think he is.
But it's only based on he's getting that from home runs. He didn't.
No, it's basis. That's what I'm saying. It's basis. So he's not as dick cold as I thought he was. I actually don't hate it. I don't hate that. I like Soto for some reason. I think he's plus odds versus Judge. He's plus odds versus Mookie. I feel like Soto, you talk about someone who's 2 bases prop. If you look at Prospect Cast, someone who's been in the green, their bases prop, probably Soto.
Soto, and then clearly Stanton being one of those guys with just all the homers he was able to do.
They had no Flaherty in there. Flaherty would probably be a crazy sharp look over somebody.
And then you look at the World Series MVP odds. You have Ohtani at plus 230, Aaron Judge at plus 500, Juan Soto at plus 550, Mookie Betts at plus 750, Giancarlo Stanton, the ALCS MVP, at plus 950, and then Max Muncy at plus 1600.
You have to place one.
You have to place one. I mean, I feel like all the money's going to be going on Soto or Judge, Ohtani. Maybe people would be doubling down on Stanton to keep it up on what he's doing. I feel like I don't know. I want to go Juan Soto, and
Juan Soto. I like that. I like Juan Soto here. Yes.
Plus 550, and let's just
if you were to take a Yankees guy, yes.
If you want to take a Yankees guy, and let's just say obviously the Yankees have to win for this to happen, but let's just say that does happen and Juan Soto does get the World Series MVP. Are we in a conversation with him internally saying, "Well, I won a World Series. I won my second World Series. It was with the Yankees. I did get the World Series MVP. Do I need to stay here?"
That's literally why.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's why I said that about what's wrong with him. 19 years old, you won a championship with the Nationals. I understand people don't like to stay with small market teams. Completely understandable. So you go to the Padres. That team's pretty fucking stacked. Utah T's, Manny Machado. We're building around there. There's some shit going on. We have a 2-1 lead in the NLCS versus Phillies. We blow that lead. We lose that. I leave. Cool. That's fine. We go to New York. Another good team. We're in the World Series. Did he win ALCS MVP? Or am I tripping?
Stanton did.
Okay, my fault. It's my fault, Soto. Still have a very good CS. About to go to the World Series. You have a chance to win World Series MVP. You have a chance to have 2 World Series by the time you turn 25. And there's a chance you're going to leave the team. I don't understand. This guy is... I'm not hating. I actually think he's doing not the correct thing. He's doing the thing that we all do when we play MLB The Show, Road to the Show. And if that's what he wants to do, if that's what makes him happy, I want to win a championship here. I want to go over here and get paid, win a championship. Fuck it. That's actually dope. But I would actually like to see Juan Soto. it sounds crazy. I would like to see Juan Soto stay with the Yankees.
Me too.
I wanted to see him stay with the Padres with Tatis and Machado. I thought that would be pretty special and cool. But if I actually kind of like him with the Yankees, I think it kind of fits when he did the little. What he say when he hit the home run? What did he say? What did he say? He was turning me the fuck up though. He was turning me the fuck up.
In Spanish, he said, "I am the best cocksucker."
I was like, bro, he's the fucking man. He's the fucking man, bro.
So they translated.
I kind of fuck with.
I am the best.
I didn't see that. I mean, maybe he was doing the shuffle and the stare down other places, okay, but that was. I'm like,
but
yo.
Bat, if you're talking about purely from that at bat, that 3-run homer in the 10th inning, he was fouling off a lot of pitches, and one of them that he missed, it was like the 4th or 5th pitch. He hit it and he like just missed. He was just a little.
He was talking to himself.
He said he's like, I'm right on.
I'm all over this shit. I saw that. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
And then 2 pitches later, says see you later.
Yep. So, and it was crazy. Yo, it was so crazy. He got to the dugout still and he was still like, I'm all over this motherfucker. I'm all over. I'm like, yo, he is in his
even
bag.
On Talking Yanks, Boone was on there and was discussing that play and was saying, you know, when he first hit it, I thought he just missed it.
Me too.
And then it's traveling and it's tracking and you see Thomas like going towards the warning track. And you're like, is he going to catch it on the warning track? And then he's at the wall, and it's like, oh my God, that's there. And he's like, I just remember like taking a couple steps down past the dugout and just throwing my fist. I'm like, hey, we're going to the World Series. So if I had to lean anywhere in the World Series MVP, I would probably go Juan Soto plus 550, just because I feel like all the money is going to be Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani. And I don't know. I feel like I would like to know the stat on when there was an ALCS MVP, who was the most recent to win ALCS MVP and World Series MVP.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, just kick me in the fucking balls. Just kick me in the dick and tell me, yeah.
That happened?
Yeah, it did happen.
Pena, 2022 Astros, he won ALCS. He got, I remember he did get the MVP, the World Series MVP.
Yeah. They just kicked me in the balls. That's cool. I'm down.
Okay, so against the Yankees in the ALCS, yeah, he won.
That should have been.
And then against the Phillies, he got it. And then you go further, you go to Corey Seager and the Dodgers in 2020.
Yeah, that was Mickey Mouse championship.
And then after that, you go 6 years further back to Bumgarner in 2014 against with the Giants.
They were a wagon back then.
Wow.
David Freese. We were talking about David Freese.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So that's cool. That's a cool note there. Yeah. So I would lean there, and then. If we look at, like, I would never touch daily specials, but we can go to our World Series pick then.
So clearly you're taking the Yankees, right?
Clearly I'm taking the Yankees, plus 104. How, like, my team, the team that I'm a fan of, is plus money in the World Series. Give me that all day.
Absolutely.
Give me that all day.
It's just so painful. I really want the Yankees to win. I think it'd be great. Obviously, the pot needs a chip. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see you sad.
And like, I don't want to like. If I wasn't a fan
I don't want to root for the. I don't want to root for the
Dodgers.
I don't. Honestly, I don't. I hate the Yankees way less than I don't hate the Yankees at all. Personally, I feel like I should as a Phillies fan, maybe, but I don't really hate the Yankees at all. I do think the Dodgers win this series, and it pains me to say it. I think the Dodgers handle their battle test of the road here really well. That Padres series, like you said before, had a chance to be one of the best series of the playoffs. It still could. That was a great series. They handled that test very, very well. The Mets still gave them a good shot, and they put them to bed, like, not pretty easily, but pretty handily. Like, you guys aren't going to go past us.
You look at that too. Like, the Mets had their chances. They split in LA, and then you get 3 at home. That's why I think, like, if Garrett Cole can just find a way to get game 1, then regardless if you win or lose
this game
2,
1 is huge.
You get 3 back in the Bronx.
Absolutely.
And I think, you know, best case scenario 3-0, but that's very unlikely to happen. Yankees go 2-1 there, and you have a 3-2 lead going back to LA.
Another reason, too, is like with this team being battle tested, they've seen some pretty good and pretty hot bullpens. And they've been able to put up runs versus every single team. And the one thing that does worry me about the Yankees team is this bullpen. I don't know if they're going to be able to win a lot of these matchups when you get to these second and third, one out, have to switch a guy out, go lefty. You know what I mean? I feel like they might lose a couple of those matchups. I think it's gonna go 6-7 though. It's gonna go 6-7. I think it's gonna come down to one of those matchups where you pull a guy in a Clay Holmes versus a Mookie Betts kind of matchup type of thing. I think it's a toss up. I think it's gonna be Dodgers, but I'm rooting for the Yankees. I want to see the Pie get a chip. But I do think they're gonna fall a little bit short. But go fucking Yankees, bro. End of the day.
End of the day, yeah. We got to see it happen.
Go fucking Yankees.
We got to see it happen. Over to the 3 college games that we have and the 3 NFL games. It's kind of a different slate from the jam-packed, crazy, storylines behind, Texas and Georgia and Bama and Tennessee that we saw last week. But this week there's still a couple good games to talk about, which we'll start with Notre Dame and Navy, where, we kind of have a
fucking go.
We have a shot to talk about Navy and Army.
I'm going to say,
potentially
no.
the playoffs.
I need to personally apologize. I walked over here last night and I was playing the show. I'm like, this slate is shitty. Can I say this slate is shitty if the midshipmen are playing Notre Dame and is this going to be on CBS or NBC or one of those?
This is the 12 o'clock game. This is going to be
probably CBS game. I think.
No, this might be the
ESPN game.
12 o'clock game.
I mean, come on, bro. We got Navy on the slate. I'm gonna let you talk about the stats first, but I'm very, very excited for this one. Close we get to this game.
Yeah, so we got Notre Dame that's 8-2 against the spread in its last 10. Navy 7-3 against the spread. Notre Dame's 9-1 straight up in the last 10 meetings with Navy. The only loss was back in 2016. Navy's 2-4 straight up in its last 6 as an underdog per outlier. And Navy has the 4th most rushing yards per game in the nation. But Notre Dame allows 11.9 points per game, which is 5th in the nation. If you want to look at the actual lines in this game, it's 12.5 for favoring Notre Dame with a plus 360 money line for the Navy. I feel like 12.5 points is a lot, but I'm probably just going to end up taking Notre Dame here.
Understandable, but I think you might be like, you're missing out on a lot of juice here. I feel like with Navy, because this could just be a fun ass bet. I don't think you'll ever see this again. I have to hop on the wagon. I will be putting my military suit on. I will be a part of the Navy. My pop was in the Navy. I have to do it.
You have to.
Give me Navy plus 12.5, bro. I actually think so. One of my concerns too about this game was like, okay, what if obviously Riley Leonard's at quarterback? Notre Dame doesn't have the same weapons they had last year, but Navy's in this game, a lower tier school. Are they going to be able to cover the weapons in Notre Dame if it gets to a gritty part of the game? Notre Dame played a game versus Memphis that was like 56-44, I think it was, off the top of my head. Stuff like that I see gives me like, we're getting in shootouts with these teams that have weapons, have a lot of athletes. I think they have a chance I don't think they win this game, but I really hope they make Notre Dame good on the field and kick a game-winning field goal or something. I really hope for that. Give me Notre Dame. I'm giving Navy plus 12.5.
And that game is at MetLife.
Oh, perfect. Oh, it's just so perfect.
Navy hosting Notre Dame.
Probably a lot of Notre Dame fans up there.
MetLife. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's go to a little bit later in the afternoon, LSU and A&M. The over hit in 5 of LSU's last 6 games versus top 25 scoring defenses. LSU is 6-0 straight up in their last 6 versus top 25 scoring defenses. And Texas A&M is 2-6 against the spread in its last 8 games as the favorite. You look at what the lines look like for this LSU game. It's a 2.5 favoring Texas A&M, with LSU being plus 114 on the money line. The over-under sits at 53.5, and that's where I'm going to go. I'm taking the over there at 53.5.
I like where your head's at. This game is extremely interesting because first and foremost, we were covering and all over and on opposite sides of Texas A&M versus Notre Dame to start the season. Watching that game, I did not think A&M would then rattle off every single game up to that point. I pronounced that team dead after they lost to Notre Dame at the crib. You're now blessed with another massive game at the house. Massive playoff implications on the line. 2 losses in the SEC kind of puts you on the line where you're not going to make it. You got to pull some shit off. Something else I saw too. Well, LSU's getting a lot of money on FanDuel. If you pull up the stats, I think it was like 70% of the money's on LSU at Kyle Field, something else I'm scared of. LSU also has Bama next week. Possible look-ahead spot. Now, most of the time when you say look-ahead spot, it's usually when you're playing a team that's kind of a lesser opponent the week of. So it's less of a look-ahead spot because they're playing a big team anyway. But you still have Bama next week. It's probably on their minds. Texas A&M, I think this is their game of the year to this point. At Kyle Field, there's going to be 110,000 people waving them flags. I'm going to give them one more chance. And I'm going to have a very, very nice hate rant next week on the show if they lose this game. But I legit, we're going to give them one more chance. I'm probably going to put some change on it. God, just don't let me down, Texas A&M. Like, I know Johnny Manziel's probably going to put like $250K on it too, bro. Like, don't let us down, bro, please.
Yeah, no B Kelly, no B Kelly love there.
Nah, I'm a B Kelly hater, low key, bro.
All right, let's go to our second 12 p.m. game on the slate, and that's Indiana hosting Washington as 6.5-point favorites. Washington at plus 190 on the money line, and Washington's 3-4 against the spread this season. The overs hit in Indiana's last 6, and the total went under in 9 of Washington's last 12. But here you go. Indiana's getting 76 of the bets, and they're also 6-1 against the spread so far this season. I like the 6.5 points there. I like being at home. I like the confidence that this team has. Kirk's getting the boys all riled up and trying to get a lot more media attention there. He was visiting, as a guest on Pat McAfee last week. Indiana minus 6.5 is as minus 120. I'm taking it. It's not like Washington is that scary at all either. Like,
Washington is not scary whatsoever, brother. My only concern is, like, is this a hype train type of thing?
For sure.
They're going to win this game. You shouldn't overthink it, take Indiana, but, like, is there's like a hype train? So many people are going to be betting it. 80% of the bets are on Indiana. Indiana's ranked the highest they ever been. Give me a Washington nasty backdoor cover, but I actually do hope Indiana wins this game. I want to see Indiana make the playoff, bro. Yeah. We need a team like 13. This is why the 12-team playoff was made for the Indianas of the world, bro. I hope they do win this game, but Washington backdoor cover. I feel like the casinos might eat. They've been getting hammered, bro, because they got hammered last week NFL too. I don't know. Something weird might happen in that game. Before we wrap up our NCAA, our college football talks, there are 2 games I want to highlight. Number one, when we looked at this game last night, we thought it was going to be probably a little snooze fest game on the slate. I actually think Penn State versus Wisconsin is super interesting. One reason and one reason only. Wisconsin looked very bad to start the season. I remember when they played Bama, I was saying everyone they're a horrible team, whatever. And at that point in the season, they were a bad team. Got waxed by Bama. Next week they play USC, got waxed by them again. So you look at this game and you say, okay, Penn State beat USC, played them close, but they got Wisconsin, got waxed by them. They played good teams bad. Wisconsin's rattled off a couple good games in a row. In Madison, tough place to play. Penn State notoriously, they always seem to fall asleep when they're rolling, highly ranked in the game that they have to win, even though it's going to be a tough opponent. And we talk about look-ahead spots. They have Ohio State next week. And everyone knows from James Franklin's regime, that's been the judgment week, the Reaper. It's been Ohio State, Ryan Day, massive look-ahead spot. I like Penn State. I root for Penn State. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm telling you all to take a hard look at Wisconsin to cover the spread this week. They might not win the game. They could, though. But I would take a hard look at Wisconsin to cover the spread, or at least come out hot maybe first half, first quarter, because I think you could see a little look-ahead spot for Penn State. Second game I have circled. BYU's ranked 11th. They're first in the Big 12 right now. They go to UCF. Shout out to our boy Sammy 2 times, because the UCF head coach is Gus Malzahn, Auburn legend. Unfortunately, UCF has lost 4 straight. After having a pretty good start, people thought they're going to have a good program down there. You lose 4 straight. You're playing BYU ranked 11th, first in the Big 12. You're minus 1.5 point favorites, still with 90% of the bets right now on BYU. I want to know where y'all going in this game. I have no money invested right now, but I would also take a hard look at that game. I don't have a lean. Obviously, I would lean with the books given the UCF fucking 4-loss streak. Gus Malzahn led 1.5 point favorite for no reason. Team a lean. But I want to see where y'all going. Those are just 2 games I had highlighted this week. It was very, very interesting to me.
Yeah, BYU plus 106 on the money line there. That's 330. And then you have that Penn State, Wisconsin there at 7:30. That'll be a fun one there. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've lost a little bit on Penn State this year, just spread-based bets, but
could be another one.
I mean, I faded Wisconsin when, like you said, when Alabama was there, and that was like
free,
very, very easy. And then for BYU, you talk about UCF when they hosted Colorado in a game where they were heavily favored
minus 13
and got blown out. Not really blown out, but compared to the spread,
absolutely handled.
I mean, they lost by, I think it was almost 2 touchdowns. So you basically call that a 4-touchdown swing there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, BYU plus money. I probably won't be going anywhere. Like, there's something to look at. All right, let's head over to these 3 NFL games that we want to take a look at least from a betting standpoint. We'll start it with the Eagles and the Bengals. Bengals hosting this weekend in Cincinnati. They are a perfect 4-0 against the spread on the road, but are 0-3 at home against the spread, and they are at home against this Eagles team. Bengals have gone over in 5 of their last 6 at home, and the Eagles have gone under in 7 of the last 9 games on the road. We talk about what Saquon Barkley has been able to do as part of this Philadelphia Eagles team and what this offense could look like without him. And it's like not a fun conversation to have. So we clearly see what the addition of Saquon is to this team. Bengals are in a spot where they really need to win this game. They're minus 134 and 1.5 point favorites. Eagles plus 114 on the money line. Over sitting at 47.5. I don't think I would touch based on those 2 over-under stats there. I wouldn't really go anywhere near the over-under. As a hater, I want to take the Bengals, but I would probably take the Eagles here. You get the confidence from that big Giants win and what Saquon was able to do. You also get the confidence just from an underperforming win at home after the bye against the Browns, and then you do that at MetLife and Saquon's return to MetLife. I think that's the confidence that you needed to bring to a road matchup against the Bengals that have been very disappointing this season. I'll take the Eagles money line plus 114.
Can you just do me a favor and hit that clap it up key on the fucking unbelievable scenes, brother? I am so proud of you. Wow. He faded Joe Burrow in a must-win game. I don't think you guys understand if you're a new listener to the show, you haven't seen the clips for long. This guy, I never thought in a million years he would ever fade Joe Burrow in this spot. And I think you're correct because I think what everybody is thinking. First of all, there's been no noise about how bad the Bengals have been. They have lost some games to some good teams. I'm pretty sure they have lost to the Chiefs in there. I think they have a loss to the Niners in there. I think they have another loss to a pretty decent team, and now I'm missing one. They lost to some good teams. But it's not the same Bengals team. With the contract situation going with T. Higgins, there was some stuff on with Jamar, like not with the injury stuff going on, and he was even some stuff with him last year with the Joe Burrow injury. I think there's some stuff going on internally in that locker room, which I don't know what's happening. But I think people are going to be betting on the Bengals thinking it's a must-win, and the Eagles can actually afford to lose this game. I actually don't think people. I don't think the Eagles can afford to lose as much as people think they can. If you have a good pulse on the Eagles media, which you do. Last week was a must-win, but I think for a couple weeks in a row, there's a lot of must-wins with this team and this coaching staff and some things to prove. And I think that Nick Sirianni's coaching with a lot of shit to prove. This team's playing with a lot of shit to prove. They opened up as underdogs. I think people are going to be running to bet the Bengals in quote-unquote must-win and not thinking that we can afford to lose. I'm incorrect, but I still think the Eagles win this game. I'm going to go with the Eagles here as a homer pick.
Yeah, I'd be eager to see if that spread
stays like that.
Yeah, I feel like
even that money, I'd be interested.
I feel like I could see that, as the week progresses, even just getting to Sunday, I feel like there's no way that stays at plus 1.5.
It'd be interesting.
Let's go to the 49ers and Cowboys. This is the Sunday night game. Kind of a shit show of a game with some injuries. Also, how the Cowboys look. Basically, every receiver in San Francisco is either hurt, out for the season, or is dealing with an illness.
Pneumonia.
In the hospital. And that's Deebo Samuel. The 49ers have won the last 3 matchups, also covering the spread in all 3 against the Cowboys. Dallas is 3-0 as the away team this season. San Francisco's 2-2 against the spread as a home favorite. And a stat here for Sunday Night Football with these quarterbacks is Dak Prescott is 13-8 in his career on Sunday nights, and Brock Purdy won his only Sunday Night Football start. I mean, with the injuries, we still have, George Kittle, who's questionable, most likely going to play. Not worried about that. But with how shitty the Cowboys look, there's no way in my mind I would think that I would take them. It is 4.5 on the spread. Right now, I don't know if I like 4.5. If I could buy down to 4 and make it, that the 49ers win by 4 and maybe get a push factor, they win by the touchdown there, I would see that. But other than that, I'm not going to be going too crazy on this game just because, again, still no CMC, still figuring out Jordan Mason. He's, leading top 3 in rushing yards there. But the Cowboys are dog shit, and this would be a big, big spot for them with the Eagles most likely, battling for another win and the Commanders, leading the division. I don't see myself doing anything crazy here with 55% of the money, on the 49ers. I'll lean to take the 49ers on the spread 4.5, maybe buy down to 4. But other than that, that's all I'm going to do.
Yeah, this is a fucking mud hut spot. For my playoff bet, I need the 49ers to win this game extremely bad. But when you look at this game from a non-biased standpoint, the Cowboys need this game more than anything. They seem pretty discombobulated in there. And when I look at it, when two teams that both, it's the two teams that their window is legit. You can see it just shutting on them. The Cowboys window was very wide open for the last 2-3 years. Same with the 49ers. We're just watching it, closing them in real time, dealing with injuries and certain things like that. I think it's going to be close. And when it comes to the points, I want to take the Cowboys with the points because I think matchup-wise, I think the Cowboys have some things they can take advantage of as far as what the 49ers. Look at corners. I think the Cowboys win the matchup there. I think Mike is going to be able to wreak some havoc on Brock. Even though he's looked better this year, I think that's going to be a problem as well. I don't love at all. I love at all the Cowboys offense. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. But I do think they're going to be able to make enough plays with CD. I think Dak's been in this situation enough times. I think he's played the 49ers enough times. I think they'll be able to keep it close. I think whoever's going to win this game is going to have to win by a field goal. I'd take Dallas plus 4.5. They also have played way better away from home, no expectations across the country as well. I like Dallas.
It's just a shit game, and I feel bad for the schedulers because we were assuming that both of these teams were going to be a lot better, and this would be a great Sunday Night Football matchup, and unfortunately, it's just not. We'll kick over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Falcons. Big divisional matchup. You got the Falcons at 2.5-point favorites at minus 142 in the money line, with the Bucs at plus 120 on the money line. The total has gone over in 10 of Tampa Bay's last 13 against Atlanta. The over's 4-1 in Tampa Bay's last 5 games, and the Falcons are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 against Tampa Bay. Obviously, we know about the injuries to the receiving core with Mike Evans and the hamstring. Most likely not playing this week, probably waiting for the bye. And then Chris Godwin going down for the year. Very upsetting stuff there.
Terrible scenes.
It's a great spot for the Falcons. Unfortunately, just because of these injuries, I'll take the Falcons minus 2.5. I'll also take the Falcons money line there. I feel like it can't be as easy as this, but unfortunately, that's just the outcome we're getting, and I have the Falcons as a division winner in a future bet, so I'm going to be rooting for them heavy in this game, and let's just put more fuel into the fire. Minus 2.5 Falcons.
Yeah, you got to take the Falcons here. You can't take the Bucs. Their whole engine's out. It's so sad. I'm sorry, Baker. Why is this line still 2.5 though?
Weird.
You can't. I'm not taking the Bucs. It's short week 2. But the line being 2.5 is very weird. They're saying NFC South divisional game is going to be still very, very weird. But you got to take Atlanta here, bro. I think that at this point, too, it's Atlanta's division to lose, which is very, very, very important. Saints got some QB injuries going on down there, some question marks. Obviously, the Bucs were getting banged up. Chris Godwin's ankle was turned backwards. Hamstring issues for Mike Evans. When Mike Evans comes back, they could probably right the ship a little bit more. But this is a game that the Falcons have to win and like start setting the tone that they're going to win this division. So I'm gonna rock with the Falcons here. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, let's go to the let's head to the dunk contest, and we got 3 picks here to close out this program.
3 picks here for the dunk contest. Okay.
All right, so how this dunk contest works, just like a regular dunk contest, we're each going to be putting up a bet. We have our little piece of paper here, and we're going to, be giving a score out of 10 for what we think the each of our picks go. So 3 picks. Let's give a score. 1 out of 10. Let's see.
Want me to start?
Yep.
All right, so I'll start tonight with the NBA, the association. Let's go.
Okay.
All the teams are on tonight. Well, my team's playing. Don't take one to win the game. I do have a guy for you. Eric Gordon over 12.5 points. No Joel Embiid, no Paul George tonight. Eric Gordon is always one of those guys that people seem to forget can spray it. If you watch the teams he's played for in the past, like the Phoenix Suns, like the Los Angeles Clippers when they had some stat guys. Go back in the days with the Houston Rockets when they had some stat guys. In those games when the star players are out, Eric Gordon's always just pulling a shit ton of threes, going to the rack, getting fouled. I think the 12.5 point total is a little low. First game of the season, no PG, no Embiid tonight, home opener, so going to be some good energy in there. I think Eric Gordon's number is a little low, so I'm going to take his over 12.5. I like that.
I have an 8. I'm holding up an 8. 8 out of 10. I like that with, the biggest points and the biggest factors being that there's no George and there's no...
Someone's got to put the ball in the fucking basket,
yeah,
bro.
Somebody's got to score. And I think there's going to be a lot of money on Maxey, but I'm not going to, play into that too much. And that's a good bet. I probably will be taking that. My 3 picks, I'll just let you know right now, are going to be for the NFL. And I'm going to start that with the Packers -4.5 visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, so we had 2 weeks for the Jags. Doug Peterson and company had 2 weeks in London. Good for you guys. You were able to bounce back after a beatdown against Caleb Williams the week prior. Come back, you get a big win, and now you got to come back to earth. You got to come back and come back to earth. I know we came back to the United States, but coming back to earth meaning we're done playing shitty teams now, and that's no discredit to the Bears. We're now playing the Green Bay Packers, and yeah, we get to come back home. We're hosting them. Good job, but it's still the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes, we put up 35 last week, but they don't normally put up points. The Packers will cover -4.5, and watch it go up too. I'm taking the Packers -4.5.
That rant was getting me a little scared, a little lost. I thought we were gonna go with Dougie P in them. God, I like this pick, bro.
I was just never going with Dougie P. I mean,
I like the pick.
I thought he was fired after the Bears loss. That's what.
Okay. So I really wanted to give this an 8.
I see it.
I'm going to go 7.5. I really wanted to get this. I think this is a good pick. I like the Packers here in this spot. I think the line's a little weird. I think there's some people coaching for jobs and shit in Jacksonville. Some players playing for jobs and pride. We're going to find out what a lot of people are made of in Jacksonville. I like the pick a lot, though. I want to give you an 8, but that if it was like a 3 or 2.5 spot, I'd probably give you an 8. But I like this a lot. I think the Packers do cover this as well. Win by a touchdown. My pick here. Okay. So actually, this is what I'm going to do, actually. I'll give you my teaser of the week.
Teaser of the week, okay.
Last dunk contest teaser cashed. I have another teaser for you here. 6.5 point teaser. You tease the Jets down to 0.5. Tease the Eagles up to 7.5. In some places, you get them up to 8. I think the Jets, off that loss to the Steelers, have to absolutely win. You have Mayo calling his defense soft. Bill Belichick hopping on the Mayo cast saying that defense is not soft. I coached those guys last year. Those guys can play. Some weird things going on there. I think they lose this game. And then with the Eagles, I think the Eagles can lose this game, but I think the matchup is way too close and both teams have to win. I think the Eagles at least keep it within a touchdown. If they lose, it'll probably be a 4 or 3 point type of game. Tease the Eagles up to 7.5 or 8, and then get the Jets down to 0.5 for the teaser of the week. I like it a lot.
Yeah, the Jets have to be in a bounce back spot. It just makes sense. Divisional matchup in New England. I know you do like your teasers, so I'll give 7. 7, holding up a 7 out of 10 for that teaser there. What's the number on that? What was that? It's a 6.5 point teaser. And then you would make what? The Eagles would get to what? 8?
Either
plus 8.
Yeah, they're 7.5,
Yeah,
8, depending on where you get it.
Depending on where you get it. All right. My second pick is for our Thursday night football game. That's the Vikings visiting LA against the Rams. Again, this is another one that just feels too easy. I know we're possibly getting some guys back on the receiving corps, Cooper Kupp, and where he's potentially going to go, if he's going to go anywhere. Puka Nacua reinstated off the IR. What does that mean for this offense after missing these guys for a number of weeks? But -3 at +100 for the Vikings after the loss in the divisional matchup against the Lions just makes sense. And I just feel like I don't get it. I don't know why the Vikings aren't more favorited here. They are in LA, but like the Rams aren't that good. I know we're getting some guys back, but the Rams aren't that good. Let's just call it how it is. Give me the Vikings -3, and that's plus money there, +100, even money. I don't see why that's not like where everyone's heads are. I mean, it's not even that. It sounds like I'm trying to talk myself into it, but like I don't really have words on it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Give me the Vikings -3 +100.
Why?
Why is that? I don't get it.
Okay. So I have to figure out what I want to rate this pick.
Like, is it solely just because there's guys coming back off the IR? Is that our only reason why it's -3, why it's a 3-point spread?
I have to figure out what I want to rate this pick. And you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this pick an 8. And this is me growing as a human being. Because most times I think I take the Rams here.
Me too.
But
I got to stop sleeping on the Vikings.
I think the spread's through. I think the books are trying to protect themselves. There's some news about the wide receivers from the Rams coming back. I think some people are excited. I think people are still sleeping on the Vikings. I think the Vikings defense is very, very good. Losing that game last week, I think, gives them motivation. They can't afford to drop to it. Like, you guys see the division. Like, do you think we can drop 2 in a row? We still have to play a lot of those teams in the division. I don't say it's a must-win for them. Obviously, it's Thursday Night Football. It can get weird. I think dogs do better, especially home dogs in Thursday Night Football. But I like your Vikings pick. I think people are going to be overthinking this spot, taking the Rams a little hyped up. I like it. Let's go with the Vikings.
Stop sleeping on them. I'm trying to climb out of my shell of sleeping on them. I mean, again, I was on the Lions money line last week, and that was in Minnesota. Now Minnesota goes on the road. But we're just riding the hot hand. This team was undefeated for 6 weeks of football.
Okay. So for the last dunk contest pick, I think I'm going to go over to the college football.
Okay.
What I think I'm going to do. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But what I'm going to do is Illinois plays Oregon. That total is pretty goddamn high. It's 54.5.
I had a feeling you were doing this.
When I looked the other day, it was 55.5. Illinois, they've had some games this year that have been high scoring. They've hit some overs lately. I think when it comes to games like this, though, if you have a good read on it, if you watch the Penn State game, when they play teams that have a lot of weapons, they're heavily underdogs. I think they want to play more ball control. I think they want to get pressure on your quarterback and cause turnovers. I think they want to play good special teams, put you in bad positions and field position. I think they're going to try to run the ball, drag this clock out. They're going to be away. I don't think they want this crowd getting into the game at all. I think they want to keep the crowd out of it as much as possible. Oregon's been getting a lot of hype. They won that Ohio State game, but let's keep it a buck. They shouldn't have. I took them to cover. They should have covered. They shouldn't have won. They might be riding their high horses a little bit. I'm going to take the under 54.5 here. I just have a feeling. We could get fucked. They could lose 48-17, but I just have a weird feeling here.
I'm holding up a 6.5.
I respect that.
If you look last week at the Oregon and Purdue game, they held Purdue to, I believe it was nothing or 3 points, something like that. The under hit. I feel this being similar with the Illinois defense. And yeah, going back to that Penn State game, they were able to cover that. I think it was like 17.5 points or 18 points on the spread there. Yeah, I like this one. And, there's not many people, especially me, that take a lot of unders in college football.
It's not the pretty girl at the dance.
Right.
No,
this is the one that would be the, I guess, the not really necessarily the smart pick, but like more of like understanding and respecting the money that can be made on this pick. And I like the under there. Okay, I'm going back to the NFL for my last pick.
You know what I was going to do at first? I was going to ride Ashton Genty Friday Night Lights -3.5.
Hey, if the Giants don't pick a quarterback, then maybe that's the new running back. Just saying. I was going to lean towards a sneaky I was going to lean towards a sneaky Cardinals money line in Miami with Tua coming back, but I'm not going to play there.
Interesting.
I'm going to go to the 12 in Seattle.
Wow, I like it.
Buffalo Bills -3 at -115.
Okay.
Weird start to Sunday's game in Tennessee, but we all knew they were coming back. Josh Allen showing that he is one of the MVP favorites. Still no interceptions. Let's keep that in the back pocket there. This is a guy that loves to turn the football over in previous years, and we still don't have an interception in his stat sheet. So I'll take the Bills there at -3. They are the better team. I'm consistently staying and sleeping on the Seattle Seahawks. As I'm talking about this right now, the -115 goes to -110. It's like they're hearing us talk. Bills -3. Bills are the better team. I'm sleeping on the Seattle Seahawks. I have been since they were 3-0, and I'm going to continue to do so. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, bro. I think I like the Bills here too. This is something I should have mentioned when we went over the Rams game. 2 weeks in a row, the road favorites ain't doing too bad. Now, it wasn't as bad as the week before. Road favorites did decently last week, but not as bad. Not as good. Not as good as they did the week before. But they're going to the 12. And you're going across the nation. I feel like it's trappy. And I'm gonna have to rate it. I'm not gonna shit on either way. I'm not gonna shit on the pick. But I think it's trappy. I'm gonna give it a 5. I think you could be walking into a trap here. That's all I'm gonna say. I think going across the nation, the Bills are rolling a little bit. There's some hype. Josh Allen hasn't thrown a pick at all.
If they start the way that
it's giving trap
Tennessee, then we could be in trouble.
Yeah, we're starting slow. But I respect it. I respect that.
Let's give us a 3 there. Give us 3 for the Bills. That's the program. World Series starts this weekend, Friday, Saturday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, back in the Bronx. Hopefully you guys have a successful college Saturday, a successful NFL Sunday, and are tapped into one of the greatest fall classics we're going to see. Lots of money from the Yankees and the Dodgers. Go Yankees! You've been listening and watching to the All Day Everyday Show with All Day AJ and Manny Ruffin. The Yankees are in the World Series. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, Mookie Betts, Giancarlo Stanton. What a time. Garrett Cole, we'll see you from Game 1. See you next week.